And then Cody would sit there and praise how they looked when we'd been sweating and slaving over the freaking food and cleaning up the campsite. I think that's probably the reason I hated camping so.
Welcome back to my channel. You know what always makes me laugh? It's when Robyn Brown is finally called out for all the things you, me, really all of us here, have been calling her out on for years, particularly the entire narrative that the other wives were essentially serving as servants to Cody and Robyn, doing all the heavy lifting while Robyn just got to sit back and be pretty. At the very beginning of that clip, you can actually hear Christine speaking to David about how Cody preferred his wives to look nice, insisted on them wearing makeup, and how she felt like if she didn't, he wouldn't appreciate her, and how Robyn would spend a lot of time on her appearance, getting all made up, and Cody would parade that in their faces. That's just one of many, like the camping trip, for example. And I guarantee you it's just one of thousands, but this one was on the show. In this episode, I think season 4, they camped in Big Bear, California for the 4th of July. Robyn was pregnant at the time. I think it was 2010 or 2011. Just consider it. That was 14 years ago. And because this was shot in 2023, or perhaps 2024, that would put Christine talking about something 13 years past. But obviously, it had an impact on her. This notion that Cody kept drumming into her about how Robyn looked better, acted better, or in some other way towered above everyone else. Of course, every one of the women is in a different stage of recovering from this whole thing, so their experience isn't exactly the same. There were certain things that they let affect them in different ways. Some of them are more forthcoming about it, and others are not even willing to confess it got to them. Like Janelle, she said it didn't affect her, but I call bull. I just don't think she wasn't affected by Cody and holding Robyn's looks up over them constantly. Think about it. There were so many seasons where Janelle worked on her health, attempting to feel good, get skinny, improve her self-confidence, okay? Entire episodes were built around her fitness life, and after she lost the weight, instantly Cody just went into another entire era when they were together in Las Vegas. So, in my view, Janelle's just refusing to see it. And then there's Mary, who kind of dismissed it like, oh yeah, he'd buy us clothes when he wanted us to look nice. Which sure, on one hand, having a partner buy you clothes can be cute, but if you're dressing the way he wants, wearing things only to get his attention, and he's dictating your wardrobe, that's crossing into controlling behavior. You see the same thing with some of these other celebrities who have been accused of being controlling, attempting to micromanage their wives' appearance. One of the major subjects in this latest episode was one of those things. A second common theme was the collapse of the dynamic between Janelle, Mary, and Robyn. It came up in a lot of different segments, and what's fascinating is that Robyn replied primarily through those individual talking head interviews. She wasn't necessarily having a conversation with anybody about it, just probably responding to the producer's questions regarding where her relationship with Mary is. And of course, Robyn used the chance to cast herself as the victim. Across the board, she basically pinned the blame on Mary, saying the reason they're not close anymore is because Mary was bad-mouthing her online. I've got a few clips to show you.
When you moved away, I feel like if Cody and Nathan hadn't been there to see it, she probably wouldn't have shown up with that fabulous gift that she brought you.
What I take away from what Jen was saying there is that if the cameras weren't there, and if Cody hadn't been present with Nathan to see and be there for Mary, Robyn wouldn't have made the effort to come. Essentially saying that Robyn only came to see how Cody was doing, to ensure he wasn't getting too close to Mary or that nothing was occurring between them. Which to me is why Mary explained, by this point we had split up. And then, out of nowhere, Robyn shows up, as if she's just dropping by to snoop and catch a glimpse of what's happening, because she's jealous. And her arrival also felt like it was done for show, just to be seen on television. Robyn had this habit of showing up every time Cody went over to the other wives' houses, as if she had to keep an eye on him all the time. She even made that joke about it early on, and I do believe there's some validity to that, because if the cameras weren't there, Robyn wouldn't be bothered. And that's pretty much it for this entire indirect back and forth. Like, they could have had all this time to hang out and connect, and there were all these things they could have done together. But whenever they tried, Robyn was never free. She always had some reason. So what they're actually saying, without actually saying it, is that Robyn was faking being their friend for the sake of the show. And quite frankly, that's disgusting. I believe it speaks volumes that here we are, all the way into 2024, and Mary is officially done. She's distanced herself from all of the gaslighting that she received from both Robyn and Cody, and now she's living on her own terms, with friends who actually support her, which quite frankly is so wonderful to see. She's finally speaking the same things all of us have been talking about for years. Even if she did go to Robyn and demand explanations, would Robyn be honest? If she went up to Robyn and asked her some questions about stuff that went on, would Robyn take responsibility for anything? Would she really be forthcoming about what she wanted? I mean, I can only hazard a guess here. This is just my guess. But I think Mary has questions dating all the way back to the legal divorce. She may be wondering about how long Cody and Robyn had been going out before it became public knowledge, perhaps even before she and Cody were set to meet Robyn as a couple. There's been lots of gossip going on behind the scenes. Whispers that Cody and Robyn actually knew one another before this, that they already had something between them. Some claim that the entire scenario that Mary set them up was staged, that it really didn't occur that way. Now, none of this has been verified. It's all hearsay, but it's been discussed enough that I wouldn't be surprised if it reached Mary. And then there's the money angle. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to think she has questions as to where the money went, how it was spent, why she hasn't been reimbursed, things like that. And I'd also bet there are some very personal things to unpack, like around their child, Leon. Mary's child is transgender, and Cody and Robyn haven't accepted that. They'll say one thing on camera, but their actions off camera tell a different story. When Mary tells something such as, "I don't think she wants to hear what I have to say to her," I genuinely believe it's because Mary's had so much bottled up over a very long time, particularly regarding the way her story's been presented. By this point, she's likely ready. Like, if she ever did have an actual conversation with Robyn, she'd spill it all. She'd tell her, "I saw what you were doing. I know how it went down. I saw the manipulation. I saw the lies. I witnessed all of it." And that's why, personally, I don't think she believes Robyn would give her the truth. I'm curious to see if any upcoming episodes will actually bring those two face to face. That would definitely be something worth watching. Robyn playing the victim and acting like Mary's out there trash-talking her is just ridiculous. Mary simply responds to questions on her Instagram and makes occasional comments on the show. So, if what Robyn is referring to are Mary's conversations with Jen on the show, that still doesn't qualify as being nasty. But regardless, Robyn painting herself as the victim in all of this, all while ignoring the fact that she took Mary's husband and is now expecting Mary to just accept it under the banner of plural marriage. It's completely absurd, especially now as Mary begins to hint more and more that this whole setup feels like one big fraud. I truly don't see any reconciliation coming between these two. Mary's made it clear that they're not speaking, and she doesn't think Robyn would be honest with her even if they did talk. In fact, she said flat out that she believes Robyn is a liar. There was another moment in this episode that really stuck out to me. I've mentioned it here on the channel before, but now it just really hit me. It makes perfect sense why Christine and David work so well together. He has two sisters who lived in polygamy, so he understands the dynamic. He understands what Christine's endured, and he hears when she finally has the courage to reveal the pain. He's even tempered, gentle, earthed, and he affirms her experience in a way that no other person has. Christine told of one of David's sisters having an argument with another sister wife over which one received the best stereo system. And David was amazed. Like, people actually fought over that sort of thing? Christine explained to him that sort of thing was happening in our family all the time. She confessed to gazing at Robyn's house, the couches, the furnishings, the wardrobe, the yard, and wondering why everything looked so much nicer there. Because here's the thing, if Cody had actually treated all his wives the same, he would have worked with each of them to build a home, decorate it, furnish it, create something that was shared and meaningful. But what Christine is saying is that he never did that for her. He invested the money and energy into Robyn's life, her house, her closet, her comfort. Christine got the leftovers, whatever was left in terms of time and attention. So, what she's actually highlighting is that these disputes weren't necessarily petty fights. They were based on overt favoritism. And I'm seriously wondering now whether there were ever giant blowouts, screaming fits about how uneven things were. David told her outright, "That's not normal. You shouldn't have to fight for that." Then Robyn added her standard line, something to the effect of, "Well, if you're keeping score, how can the relationship work?" And then Cody inserted himself, essentially admitting why he's so fixated on Robyn. He explained, when a relationship is really good, they give you a cloak of charity. Translation, Robyn is covering for him. She's lying, keeping his secrets, playing the game, supporting whatever spin he's selling. Then, rather than taking responsibility, he blames Christine, saying that since she didn't do what he required, she received the scraps. He never pauses to consider his own role in the failure. It's always someone else's fault. "I just loved Robyn more," he says. "I was a fool." But again, no accountability. And Robyn had her own weird spin on it as well. When queried about the disintegration of the family, she described herself as "they failed." She was always referring to herself as "we." We didn't conquer jealousy. We only cared about ourselves. We were only concerned with our self-interests. But instead of actually taking responsibility for any of her own actions, she just sort of melted into the crowd so she would not be blamed. That jealousy line? Crazy. Why would there be an expectation of a wife to get over jealousy when she's being pressured into sharing her husband? That is not healthy, Robyn. Honestly, to me it sounded like Robyn was basically confessing the truth. "I couldn't handle the jealousy. I kept track of everything. I needed to know where Cody was. I couldn't let him be with the other wives without showing up, texting, calling, just inserting myself." And honestly, that's just what she should have just confessed straight out. All right, there was another scene in this episode that I both found shady and utterly fantastic because it finally brought up something people have been discussing for years. I've seen it on the Sister Wives subreddits, on the Facebook groups, and right here in my own comments. It's regarding my sister wife's closet. Users have been going to the site and saying that it still allows you to order. You can put something in your cart, check out, and actually pay. Then what? Nothing. No product. No confirmation. And when they attempt to get a refund or inquire about where their item is, crickets. No reply. So Jen kind of brings this up on the show. She says that they've been getting messages, including a message from a guy who ordered and never got it. And Mary, bless her heart, says that she screenshotted the message and forwarded it to Robyn in the hopes that she would do the right thing and refund the poor guy. Now, let's be clear. Mary, Christine, and Janelle are not associated with that company anymore. They don't own the business. They don't get to use the website. They can't do anything about it. It's all on Robyn. So Robyn is sort of trapped, and she finally confesses, "Well, yeah, I put the business on hold. Except, no, Robyn, you didn't put it on hold. You dissolved the company, but the site is still up, the cart is still live, and she acknowledges that occasionally someone will purchase something and she has to handle it. Okay, but why is the site even live? If your company isn't in business anymore, shut it down. Disable the cart. Unactivate your Shopify. There's no reason whatsoever that people need to be able to buy anything if there's no operational business to back it up. This is not sloppy. This is downright deceptive. And that's why I adored that moment from Mary. She's essentially verifying what many of us have suspected. Robyn is still accepting people's money via the My Sister Wife's Closet website and not returning it. Fans are being scammed, and Robyn is out here playing like, oh, oops, sometimes it happens. Girl, no, unpublish the page. It takes 2 seconds. Why would you maintain the shop open if the company's dissolved? Why would you have a cart open if you are not filling orders? It's not the fans' fault for believing your website is still operational. It's your fault for having it running. Poor Mary and Jen having to suffer through the consequences of Robyn not meeting bare minimums. I mean, Robyn takes time to browse around on Etsy, but can't even be bothered to click disable on her own Shopify? It's crazy. So, yeah, kudos to Mary for calling it out. She didn't even need to go full scorched earth. She just spoke the truth. And honestly, that was sufficient. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, particularly if you or someone you know ever attempted to order from that website. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of the drama we're discussing. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.